Okay, welcome back. So luckily, we've learned that though they were extinct in the wild, they have made a comeback. So we do have Sika deer again. Here in the article, it says Sika deer are a medium-sized animal native to parts of East Asia. And of course, Taiwan is part of East Asia. All right, so we did learn here that they are a medium-sized deer. Now this adjective medium is used to describe something that is of a middle size, a middle level, or a middle amount. Now we often see medium when we're shopping. Many styles of clothes come in small, medium, large, extra large, and etc. Now, the Sika deer is a medium-sized deer, so it's not really big, but it's not really small either. Here's another example. I cooked these vegetables over a medium heat so they wouldn't burn.
Okay, so not too high, not too low.
Right.
All right, so we learned that the Sika deer, they are native to Taiwan. And I used this word before a while ago. Now, native here is an adjective and it means that this thing is born or lives here naturally in a particular place. So plants, flowers, animals, or even people born in a particular place can be called native to that area. So that's why sometimes we say, for example, in America, the Native American Indians means that the people there were the first people to live in America, and they were the first people to kind of born and to live there for a very long time. Let's use native in a sentence. We can say the Formosan black bear is native to Taiwan. It means it was born here, and it's super cute.
It does. It has a little moon on it.
I know.
Yeah, I like that moon. All right, well, let's find out more about what this deer looks like. Here it says in Taiwan, the average stag is about 155 centimeters long and 98 centimeters tall at the shoulder. So not all of the deers will be exactly this size, but that's the average size of the stag. Now a stag, this noun, is a fully grown male deer. So when we do the average, we're basically just saying that an adult male deer will be 155 centimeters long and 98 centimeters taller. Those numbers that we mentioned earlier.
All right, so let's take a look at our grammar point right here. Now, we can also use length and height to describe certain things, like animals. For length, what we can do is we can add long after centimeters. So centimeters long, such as 20 centimeters long. For height, we can add tall to the end, such as 30 centimeters tall. So let's take a look at our example. So we know that the facts are that the stag is 155 centimeters in length. Now, if we want to describe it, we can say the stag is 155 centimeters long, meaning this way. Also, we can take a look at tall or height. The stag is 98 centimeters in height. Okay, so we're talking about how high it is. And if we want to describe it, we can say the stag is 98 centimeters tall.
Okay, so now we know what the deer looks like. Let's find out how people interacted with the deer. Here it says Aboriginal people hunted them for food, but did not drastically affect the deer's population. So what we're saying here is that people were hunting the deer for food, but that didn't really change the number of deer in Taiwan. And we use the word drastically, it's an adverb, to explain this. Now, when something is done drastically, it is done suddenly and extremely. For example, if it's raining 1 minute and sunny the next minute, you could say the weather changed drastically. So here, what we're saying is that hunting did not change the deer's population very fast or by a lot.
All right, so let's see kind of what happened to these poor deer. It says, however, in the 17th century, things changed for the Sika deer. So, I have a feeling this...
A lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people have been coming to Taiwan.
All right, well, if you know your history at all, you'll know that in the 17th century, things changed in Taiwan quite a bit. Here it tells us how. It says many people moved from China to Taiwan then, And the Dutch arrived too.
Oh, okay. No wonder so many people were coming to Taiwan. And here, for example, it says the Dutch East India Company exported millions of Sika deer skins to Europe over 6 decades. Wow. So they exported millions. That means a lot of deer were killed for their skin. Now, we see the vocabulary word export. Export is a verb and it means to send a product or a good to sell in another country.
That's right.
For example, we know Taiwan is famous for mangoes. So Taiwan, they're very delicious. So Taiwan might export mangoes to other countries like Japan or Korea for them to eat.
That's right.
Now the opposite, if a country brings in products or goods to sell, we call that an import. I-M-P-O-R-T, import. So anything we see in Taiwan that's not from here, like Japanese, American, Canadian, or European snacks, these are all called imports.
That's right.
Now, how can we use export in a sentence? We can say the country makes money from exporting oil to other countries.
Okay. Well, we know that Taiwan does not have a lot of oil naturally.
We have mangoes.
Yeah, maybe we trade our mangoes for some oil. All right. So we learned about the Dutch East India Company and how they were selling deer skin or sending it. So killing the deer and sending the skin to Europe. And they were doing this for about 60 years. Now, they weren't the only people doing this. It says here, during the Qing dynasty, Sika deerskin trade was big business in Taiwan. Okay, in that sentence, we mentioned the Qing dynasty. Now, here, a dynasty is a period of time when a particular family, in this case, the Qing family, ruled a country. Now, dynasty also refers to the family that rules, including all the fathers, grandfathers that pass the rule down in the family. Here's dynasty in an example sentence. Jimmy is studying the Han Dynasty in history class.
Oh, wow. Poor deer.
Yeah.
So let's learn a little bit more about this trade that happened. It says about 100,000 hides were sent to customers in Japan annually. So that means every single year, about 100,000 hides were sent there. Now, when we talk about the hide or hides, this is just the skin of an animal. So it's usually of a large animal too, like a cow or a deer.
Right. And it's usually when you think about a hide, you think about an animal that has a strong skin, like leather, like you see with cows or deer or something like that. All right. Well, we know they're being sent to Japan. Where do they leave from, though? Here in the article, it says most of them were shipped from ports such as Lukang or Deer Harbor in Zhenghua County.
Oh, Lukang. All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry about my pronunciation.
It's all right. All right. So that's why it's called that as well, because a long time ago, a lot of deer were shipped from this harbor.
Right.
Interesting. I didn't know that. All right. Next in the article says, after World War II, much of the Sika deer's habitat was destroyed by development. So, okay, poor things. Because there was war as well, a lot of their habitats, or basically an animal's home, or the place where an animal or plant grows and lives, this was destroyed by a lot of war and a lot of, things happening in that area.
Right. And when you're, after the war is finished and you're rebuilding the country, you want more industry to kind of build the country up, and a lot of the forests were destroyed so we could put buildings there and bring more people in and have bigger cities, this sort of thing. Now what we did was we destroyed, or not we, but all humans, we destroyed the habitat. Now this is a verb, and when you destroy something, you damage it so badly that it can't be used or fixed, or so badly that it doesn't even exist anymore. For example, the fire destroyed the whole factory. Nothing was left when the fire was put out.
All right, so let's learn a little bit more about the poor deer. It says, finally, in 1969, the Formosan Sika deer became extinct in the wild. Okay. Oh, poor things, because they kept being killed for things like
for their skin,
for trade. So of course, naturally, the deer became extinct in 1969.
Right. Now we did say extinct in the wild, so This will give you a bit of good news as we go into day 2 of our article. Because we're just saying extinct in the wild, that means that there were other deer left. And we'll find out exactly what happened to those deer in day 2 of our article. So for now, we're going to go to our For You chat. See you in a minute.